everyone agreed with that, right? Everyone thought that the Oscars were fine and chill, and we thought they were awesome, and then nobody disagreed with anything, right? I'm glad. What's up, guys? It's your boy Chrysalis here, and today we're going to be making a video about my reactions about the 98th Academy Awards. They just concluded like last night as the time of recording this. Hopefully I get this uploaded the same day. I'm gonna make this one pretty quick since honestly there isn't really that much to talk about as far as like surprises and upsets and all that. In my personal opinion, I feel like the Academy Awards went about just as how I expected it to. The acting categories still felt pretty up in the air except for actress, which is kind of funny because that feels like an inverse of what last year was, where the acting categories were pretty much locked except for actress. And I'm going to kind of go through just everything that won and everything that didn't win, and etc., or at least most everything. All the big hitters for sure, I mean. Also, I'm gonna make this quick because I got a dentist appointment about like an hour. Or actually, like, I've got to leave for a dentist appointment about like an hour or so. So, we're gonna make this quick and painless like the Oscars were for everybody, right? Everyone agreed with that. Nothing controversial about the Oscars. Everyone on Twitter is just sanguine and everything. Yeah. Before I get into that, though, I kind of wanted to share like a thought that I had, like an epiphany I had, like throughout the years of just watching the Academy and everything. I think with the Academy Awards, the only part of the entire cycle is the nominations at this point. Like the whole nomination process. Because there's so much good film that comes out last year or just any year in general, and a lot of it just not getting recognized by the Academy. Whether it's movies like No Other Choice that definitely should have been nominated for a lot but didn't, or The Testament of Anne Lee, or say Nouvelle Vague, Mickey 17, in my personal opinion. I would say at this point, the whole waiting for the nominations and the nominations coming out are probably the single worst part of the Academy, like, usually. But then after that, you're left with just a shitload of nominees and all that you feel like should win, but you have to, like, kind of look at them in a vacuum and see which one is just the better out of all of them, which ends up coming down to some degree of subjectivity on the voters' part, as well as, like, some degree of an understanding of objectivity on the voters' part. I guess what I'm trying to say is that lead actor, for example, I'm looking at just a list of names of a lot of the greatest acting performances of last year, and I'm trying to decide which of these is the best. To the point where, like, if any one of them win, I honestly wouldn't have been mad. It did end up going to Michael B. Jordan, which kudos to him. I think in a year full of dual performances, his was probably like the most interesting and just the best in general. I think he definitely took what playing a twin can be and just upping the ante by a lot. Even if personally I felt like it should have gone to Timothée Chalamet, but again, with a lineup that is those two, Leo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, and Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, it's hard to be mad when one of them wins. Your favorite might not win, but at least one of them did, and at least one of them got nominated, period. Like with Best Casting, which is very new, a very new category. You look at the lineup of Sinners, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Hamnet, and what was the fifth one? Marty Supreme. You look at that lineup and you're just like, how could you be mad if, like, one of them won? My point being, like, in my years of just watching the Academy, I've gotten to a point where my takeaway from the Oscars is it's just an honor to be nominated maybe like 80-90% of the time. Yeah, there's always going to be some like fuck-ass nominations here or there, like why did Jurassic World Rebirth get nominated for visual effects over some other really good movies that use visual effects? And there are definitely some original songs that probably should have also gotten nominated for original song, but the Academy saw fit to nominate Diane Warren for a 17th time in a row. But apart from like outliers like that, you look at something like Best Cinematography, which my favorite win of the night went to Sinners. You look at that lineup of Sinners, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Train Dreams, even if that's not really a movie that I'm super head over heels for, as well as Frankenstein. You look at that kind of lineup of just talent and art in display when it comes to cinematography, that like if one of them wins, obviously if the one you think should win and the one that you want to win don't win and one of the others win, you can't really be like all that mad about it. But yeah, that's basically my takeaway from it. I'd say 80% of the time, obviously there's like some outliers here and there, but I can't be mad whenever like a really someone that did their job really well ends up getting awarded for doing their job really well. At least, on paper anyway. Alright, let me go over the wins, because this will be like the easiest thing. Say hello to Esme, our favorite floofy little void. I'll figure out a camera angle for her someday. So yeah, One Battle After Another ended up taking the most amount of wins last night. Not surprised about that at all. I think Paul Thomas Anderson was definitely overdue for at least one Oscar. He ended up taking away 3. Love to see it. For, of course, adapted screenplay, which since he wrote the screenplay, director, since he directed the movie, and picture, since he was a producer as well. So it was just awesome. Sean Penn also won Best Supporting Actor for the movie. Did not show up for his 3rd Academy Award, but whatever. Apparently he wanted to be in the Ukraine for a personal visit. Who knows? Film editing, which was some of the honest to God best editing of the year, also went to One Battle After Another. Deserved. Not much else to say other than that. And best cast went to One Battle After Another. The very first time a casting director was ever awarded an Oscar, so awesome. One Battle After Another definitely had room to win more, but I would say 6 is appropriate. We didn't want to be like overkill this time. We're not Return of the King, right? And right at its coattails, not too far off from it, Sinners ended up winning 4 Academy Awards, one for Best Original Score, which nobody should be surprised by. The one win I was the most happy with was cinematography. It is the first time a woman in the 98 years of the Academy Awards ever won a Academy Award for cinematography. And hopefully it's the first of many from the time to come. Which I'm very happy with, because I don't know if you've watched Sinners or not, and if you haven't, why are you watching this video? Stop watching this video and go watch Sinners. It's on HBO Max. But the cinematography in Sinners was just second to none, incredible. Just absolutely wonderful. I'm glad it ended up winning. I was a little worried about it, because like a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, it's going to go to Train Dreams, it's going to go to like F1. I don't even know if F1 was nominated for cinematography. No, I don't think it was. It's got to go to like One Battle After Another, and then ended up just going to Sinners, which, I'm very happy with. Sinners is probably my favorite movie of last year. I think it's tied with One Battle After Another in my opinion, but seeing Sinners just win cinematography was just great. And of course, it also won original screenplay, so Ryan Coogler ended up winning an Academy Award for his efforts in that movie, or at least on a writing standpoint. He was also nominated for director and picture, but everyone was feeling One Battle After Another that time, which, understandable, it's a fantastic movie. I think there's going to be a conversation about how little recognition black directors get in the directing department, but you can't be mad since like the guy that won has been hustling and grinding and working hard to like maybe not necessarily win an award for directing, but just fine-tuning his craft as a director for sure. And also it won Best Lead Actor for Michael B. Jordan. I think I mentioned that in length already, how dual performances, Michael B. Jordan's was the best one out of a year full of dual performances, yada yada yada. Even if I think Timothée Chalamet should have took it, I'm still very happy that it ended up going to Sinners for sure. Apart from that, just a lot of wins that I kind of figured were going to happen. I would say Amy Madigan taking it for Best Supporting Actress for Weapons was kind of on the wall in hindsight. Even if I think that it probably should have went to, say, Wumi Masako for Sinners, I am very happy that Amy Madigan took it for Weapons, since Weapons, solid movie, ended up just getting cranked to 11 once the character that is Aunt Gladys just shows up and just really just takes us for a ride. K-Pop Demon Hunter is taking 2 Academy Awards, one for Best Animated Film, which it should, and for Best Original Song for Golden, even if I think it should have went to I Lied to You. But Golden still also great. I think on that note, I think the only category I felt like there was just only 2 answers, and if they picked any of the other 5, they would have got it wrong, was Original Song. Since Original Song is always just the clear and present winner, and someone that could take it, and maybe should take it, but probably won't, and then 3 other miscellaneouses. They really need to step up Original Song, in my opinion. Out of all the other categories, I think they need to step up in that one. Frankenstein taking 3 Academy Awards, Costume Design, Production Design, and Makeup, which definitely for costume design and makeup, Jacob Elordi really did serve as like the canvas for a lot of their hard work, and it was just awesome seeing just what they were able to do with this man, turning him into the creature, as well as just everybody else too, like the costumes for Mia Goth's character and everything else, as well as production design. Just Frankenstein's castle was just well designed in general, and the whole thing with the ship, it was an actual ship, and yeah, I talked about it in my predictions video. Sentimental Value taking away International Film over The Secret Agent, which I felt like should have been the winner, but it is what it is. You can't really be mad because Sentimental Value is also great. I apologize, Brazil. We'll get it next time, I'm sure. F1 winning for sound, which, you know, shouldn't be surprising at all, since the sound in F1 was pretty top-notch. Like, it was just kind of irrefutable at that point. Avatar Fire and Ash winning for visual effects. One of my other favorite moments of the Oscars was Sigourney Weaver, of all people, presenting the award for visual effects to Avatar Fire and Ash. You could tell that she was about to get choked up and everything, just reading it. But yeah, no, I also would have been surprised if Fire and Ash did not win in that category. Not to say that the other categories didn't have good visual effects, but like, James Cameron created Pandora. Him and his team of people made everybody blue, and just the way Pandora looked in general and everything. Like, I mean, come on. There's also obviously Best Animated Short and Live Action Short, which had a tie, by the way. We have not had a tie since I think like the early 2010s, when there was a tie for I think like sound design or some shit. But apart from that, like, nothing just out of the ordinary here. Marty Supreme won nothing. Begonia won nothing. Secret Agent won nothing. Train Dreams won nothing. Hamnet ended up taking lead actress, for, which I'm not surprised at all. Jessie Buckley just doing like the most heartbreaking performance of just last year, man. It's nice to see that the Academy also agreed with me on that. But yeah, apart from that, just nothing out of the ordinary, and just it went about how I mostly predicted it would. Maybe some outliers here and there, but that's about it. I found this year's Academy Awards ceremony to be pretty good. They really stepped it up with their In Memoriam this year. Conan O'Brien just kind of cranking it up to 11 with being just a stand-up host this year. And I hope he keeps hosting the Oscars for sure. Especially that opera and ballet joke, that was just fucking amazing. Conan O'Brien just holds no quarter when it comes to, like, just taking jabs at people. And also the Ted Sarandos joke had me fucking dying on the floor. Like, right in front of the guy, too. That's just so funny. But also, now that I'm thinking about it, I think my main gripe with the Oscars this year was the whole thing where, for whatever reason, production just kept wanting to cut people off like mid-speech and everything to like keep the ceremony going. Like, I get that like there's a time constraint and everything, but these are people that worked very hard on the craft in question, and you are giving them a platform to like thank everyone and like say what they need to say and everything. And I get it, like there's only like so much time and everything, but like just cutting them off like before they even get a chance to speak, I'm just wasn't a fan of that. They did the K-pop Demon Hunter songwriters and everything just so dirty, and that just really pissed me off in a lot of ways. But yeah, that's kind of all I got. I've enjoyed watching the Oscars this year. I think just about everyone that I wanted to win ended up winning, and yeah, that's kind of all I got. Otherwise, man, going up to her perch. Probably saw a bird. But yeah, if you watched the 98th Academy Awards, what did you think? Did everyone that you wanted to win? Did nobody that you won lose? Or did nobody that you wanted to win lose? Or, sorry, did everyone that you wanted to win lose? That's the correct grammatical sequence. And yeah, that's all I got. I'm very glad that the Oscars are finally over, because now, after some 48 hours or so, a lot of the brain dead film Twitter nonsense will just fade into the ether, and we can finally move on to movies coming out this year, like Project Hail Mary, which I'm seeing today. This your boy Chrysalis here, signing off.